Hey guys, Iceman here, and this is my necromancer. I just started leveling up the little devil. He's level 35. It's been pretty fun so far. I'm not all that familiar with the necromancer. I made one when the game first came out. I believe I got through normal mode. But I called it quits after that and just started going with a sorceress or barbarian or all the other classes for that matter. But I wanted to go on a bit about Diablo 4 and what needs to be done for this to be a good game again. As Diablo was a great game, it's a great franchise. Back when I was a little duck-billed platypus, I would play the first one, and I was astonished by the gameplay and the search and the constant grind and so forth. It was a good time, man. And the gratifying experience of slaughtering legions of demons, things like that. Then, of course, Diablo 2 came out with a different art style and stuff, but it made its way, and it became probably the more well-known game in the franchise. And it took it up to freaking astronomical levels, you know what I mean? But Diablo 3 has been kind of a lot of shit's been talked about it, I know. And it missed the mark in a lot of ways, I think is the problem. I put a lot of hours into it. But I always knew something was off. Something was wrong with Diablo 3. And there are some major factors involved with this. One of which is the fact that Blizzard took trading out of the game. What the hell? See, this is one of the most memorable things of Diablo. The trading. The interacting with players. And people bitch continually on the forums. And in my comments section, I read your comments, and every single one of them, I appreciate your words. And if you want to talk shit, go ahead, man. Just like the video no matter what. And spam it all over the internet. But I digress. Why the hell would they take trading out? It added such an experience to the game. People do complain these days about how Diablo 3 lacks community. There's no incentive for community anymore on Diablo 3. Trading is such a primal aspect of human nature. You know, we thrive on that stuff, man. That's why it was such a good time. It's really an enthralling experience. And there are biological imperatives involved as to why we thrive on those things. You know what I mean? It all dates back to, like, being a hunter and gatherer and such, and a collector of things, and deciphering value in them, and creating a market around items. See, Diablo 3 lacks all this stuff. And this is stuff that helps you in a real-world sense. You know what I mean? Like, when I was a kid and I played Diablo 2, I remember how it was overwhelming at first when you began to look into how things function. And then I found out that there was the website called JSP, and the people made a market with the Diablo items on JSP. And it was all mind-boggling shit at first. But then I started to come to grasps with it. How we create the value of these things, you know what I mean? There's supply and demand effects taking place here. So it really conjured up a lot of endorphins and shit, you know? Like when you find something and you know it's really valuable. You get that buzz, man. You find a G.G. Griffin's eye. Or other things in that way. Just how exciting that was. Primarily because you understood its value. And in Diablo 3, there is a major aspect of that is wiped off the face of reality. Because there's no trading. So GG items are totally lacking in that way. You know what I mean? And that sucks. Because it's ingrained in our freaking nature, man, to thrive on this sort of concept. And that is ripped away in Diablo 3. Now, why would they do that? Isn't that weird? It makes me wonder, man, but I'm not going to go on a freaking rant in that regard. But why would Blizzard take out such a memorable part of Diablo 2? Especially when it helps us in a real-world sense. It gives us a grasp of how markets function and how civilization and shit is able to sustain. And the fact that Blizzard removes that, taking this helpful attribute of the game and throwing it away. It's bizarre, isn't it? It sucks. But there's still hope, man. You know, Blizzard could bring this stuff back. They could, and it would be very important that they do, I think. And Diablo 4 will be the greatest game of all times. It really will be, if they bring this shit back. And I would say, this isn't very important, but it's important to some people. Perhaps the majority of people who play Diablo. If you bring back the dark, gritty atmosphere to some extent, and don't have exaggerated proportions and stuff, like what Diablo 3 has going on, where your character doesn't even look human. They're bulging in places where naturally they wouldn't be bulging. Their weapons are humongous, and their armor pieces are sticking several meters from their body. Things like that. And the way that the physics works, it seems that it's just all really exaggerated. In Diablo 2, at least there's some base in physics still. Like when you kill enemies, they don't just go floating way out of the screen. They'll die in a realistic manner. And they especially did so back in Diablo 1. So I would say find a medium between Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 when it comes to the physics and the dark, gritty atmosphere and stuff like that. Another really important thing is don't give everyone a damn trophy. Now, if you play Diablo 3, you just have to complete a few side quests and stuff, and they'll give you your set. Basically, your final endgame set. Of course, you can tweak it to minor extents with the Ancients and the Primals, but nothing changes from there on out. All the mechanics are going to be the same. The numbers are just rolled higher, and the numbers increase, that's all. Which doesn't really help enhance the gaming experience when there's that ceiling that really just keeps going, just keeps going up and shit. And it's just only numbers contribute to the height of it. There has to be more than that. Like in Diablo 2, there are game-changing mechanics and stuff like that. And another really important thing is don't have the characters just be item racks. Like, I couldn't believe it when I was playing Diablo 3 and I just found out, oh, my wizard, I just pop on this two-handed sword and all of a sudden all her spells are doing all the damage that the sword does. And my barbarian, if he's doing a lot of his moves, he's not even swinging his damn weapon. You know what I mean? It takes away from that feeling of possessing your weapons and stuff. And having your skills and spells be something fueled by something other than just what your weapon damage is. Like in Diablo 2, you have all the skills that you have to level up, and you can customize your character with your skills. And your weapon maybe just adds to skills, and it doesn't matter what the damage is. So you have to find all the gear with the plus skills. And for spellcasters and stuff, you want to go for skills, and you're not going for base damage, because that's not going to make your lightning do more damage. So that's weird how they just meshed all that together. And I think they should keep it separate again, like in Diablo 2, and actually swing your damn weapon when you're using it. You know what I mean? Is that kind of bothersome? that really threw me off initially. I just couldn't believe that they went that route. Another thing is to make shit rare again. In Diablo 3, it's overwhelming. You're running through the rifts, and all the good shit is just falling out of the sky continually. What makes it so rewarding in Diablo 2, for example, is the rarity. You know what I mean? If it's saturated to such an extreme where just all the good stuff keeps falling and there's only varying differences to some minor degrees on like the stats, it's not nearly as rewarding to find the good stuff, and you have to continually go through all sorts of garbage and whatever you do when you smolder into the brimstones. It's just a constant grind in that way. And there's not those extremely rare things like high runes that are in Diablo 2. Now, I know the high runes are kind of controversial, but I think overall they dramatically enhanced the game experience, and here's why. Not only are they extremely rare, which makes you want to keep going, man. It keeps that little hot dog on the stick in front of you, you know what I mean? To find the high runes. But here's another thing that the runes do. Another thing that trickles back to our primal nature when it comes to hunter-gatherer. The fact that you have to make your weapon and your armors and stuff with the high runes, you have to save them up. So if you're a Muppet or whatever, you're not going to save them up, right? You're just going to go blow them. Just like how a lot of folks, they work a job they don't like and they just keep blowing all their money. So they don't have any saved money. And they're just spending it paycheck to paycheck. It's nice when you can see those real world things contained in a game as well, because that's what helps us relate. So you get a lot of people who just trade off their high runes and they never can make the good rune words because they don't know how to save them up. They're not good at saving up their goodies, you know what I mean? They just want to blow it and have a good time today. So that's where people really start to shine in Diablo 2, is when you have that sort of responsibility. You know what I mean? To save things up. You're basically like a responsible citizen, man. And you can get rich in that way. So it caters to being responsible and disciplined. And there is nothing like that in Diablo 3. There's no runes where you can save them up. Or find the GG socketables and save them up and stuff. So bring back rune words in runes. But what do you guys think of this word that the Iceman has in regards to Diablo 4? Let me know in the comments. And another thing, make the women sexy again, you know? Do I have to say it? I mean, I know a lot of you guys agree with me. Like, if you're going to be sitting here staring at a person all day long, you at least want them to have a nice ass, right? So Diablo 3 kind of lost it to an extent. And they could bring that back as well. I know it probably caters to a lot of us. And you can have different, you can have the male characters, attractive in whatever way is deemed fit, as well as the female characters. So then you just have, if you're going to be staring at somebody all damn day, it might as well be someone you're attracted to, So take a general consensus of what people find attractive and implement that into the damn game. And have, both options, you know what I mean? But ain't nothing wrong with having some fine ass in the game. Simply put. But what do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on Iceman's demands for Diablo 4. And I'm serious, share this damn video. I mean, this video, if you agree with me, man, hit that damn thumbs up button and spam this video on the interwebs so that Blizzard can see it. We're in a new era, man. This is a new phenomenon, where, with the internet and stuff. And it's been happening on in many different situations with things where they're starting to hear our cry. So it's a reality. If these sort of utterances are heard by these big companies and they see the numbers in which are demanding this stuff, they're going to listen, man. And we could get an epic Diablo 4 game. They could do it. It's been done before. With many things. This is a kind of a stretch to compare. But for example, with the Jurassic Park stuff, I make some videos on that stuff on a different channel, but with the Jurassic Park stuff, the toys really sucked in 2015, right? Hasbro made them, and they were horrible. They were very cheap quality. They weren't nothing like the 90s toys. But so many people band together on the internet, man, and they bitched about it, and they bitched about it. And they complained, and they criticized these toys. And what happened? 2 years later, or something around that frame, Mattel got the license then from Hasbro. And Mattel listened to the fans, and they made the toys a lot better. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're a hell of a lot better than what Hasbro did. Because they listened to the fans, man. People bitching on the internet, people sharing the videos that were criticizing these toys. And these are great advices that Daddy has for Blizzard. So share the damn video. If you agree with me, man. And let me know in the comments, what do you want in Diablo 4? It's true. They're going to listen if we can get the video out there, man. If we can express ourselves and get the word out there. What needs to be done to make this a good game. People are still playing Diablo 2, and this is like 20 years later. It's getting more views than Diablo 3 is on Twitch and on YouTube and the streaming. More views, man. And they know this. They're probably to some extent in denial. So they're going to try to work on Diablo 3 a little bit more before they just say, screw it. That's why they're not doing anything to Diablo 2 right now. Because they don't want to accept failure. But that's okay. They might have to accept failure. They might have to realize they made some mistakes with this, you know? But we have hope that they're going to make it better. And they can. If you like this damn video, and subscribe. And if you want to talk shit, if you're one of those shit talkers, I have this question for you, man. What you gonna do, brother, when the Iceman comes for you?